Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Rabbi.
We're learning Mishnah Sotah, Parak Dalet, Chapter 4, Mishnah Beis, Mishnah 2. Ve'elu lo shoisais le'noitlis ksuba. These women, alongside the ones mentioned in the previous Mishnah, do not drink the bitter waters, nor do they collect their ksuba. Ha'imeres tameani. Let's say the woman who is a Sotah, she went to seclusion after she was warned not to, and then she admits, tameani, I have been defiled. That means she admits I committed adultery. V'shabo la edim shi tameya, or witnesses came and said that she actually committed adultery. V'oimeres eini shaisa, or a woman that says I'm not drinking. Now we had all these cases before. These are all cases where the woman will not drink the bitter water. If she admits, or there are witnesses who said she committed adultery, there's no point to drinking the water. And if she says I'm not drinking, as long as it's before the name of Hashem was erased into the water, she doesn't drink. But in all these cases, at the end of the day, why isn't she drinking? Because of her actions. Meaning she's the one who made herself a Sotah. Not only that, she's the one who committed adultery, or she's the one who's saying, I'm not going to drink the water. And therefore, she loses the ksuba. A ksuba, as we've said before, if she is basically the cause, if we see her as the cause of why this marriage is breaking up, then therefore she doesn't get her ksuba. So in all these cases, we see her as the cause. Next, Omar Baila Eni Mashka. If her husband decides, I'm not giving her to drink. I'm not going to get her to drink. And as we learned previously, what happens then? She doesn't drink. Or let's say her husband cohabited with her on the way there, meaning after she become a Sotah and she becomes forbidden to him, he cohabited with her anyway. And the halacha is, we've had this previously, that if he is not clean from sin, if he's not innocent from sin, meaning he cohabited with her when he wasn't allowed to, the waters don't work for her anymore. So if we find out that the husband did that, she's not going to drink. All right. So in those cases, says the Mishnah, she takes her ksuba, but she doesn't drink. Here, she doesn't drink, right? She's not drinking, but she's going to take her ksuba. She gets her ksuba. She has the right to collect her ksuba. Why? Because she's ready to go through it. She's ready to go through the whole process. She's ready to go through the process of proving her innocence. If he's the one who stopped it from happening, so then she doesn't lose her ksuba. He was the cause now as to why we cannot determine where she's at. I mean, clearly, she went ahead and she went to seclusion. She's not supposed to do that. That she brought upon herself. But if she's ready to go through the rest of the process to prove her innocence, and it's his fault that process is not going to happen, then she doesn't lose her ksuba. Next. Now the next case is a case like this. Meisu ba'aleyan at shalei shasu. The husband died before they drank. So we're talking about, it's a regular case of Sotah. He warned her. She went into seclusion. And there were witnesses to the fact. Now she's forbidden to him, right? Until she goes through the process of drinking the water and she comes out innocent, she comes out clean, she's going to be forbidden to him until that point of time. In this case, the husband died before they could drink. And the halacha is that once the husband dies, there's no more drinking. Because the Torah says it's the husband that gives her to drink. It's the husband that brings her for drinking. If there's no more husband, there's no more drinking. All right, so right now we're at a point where we have never determined, did she commit adultery or not? We've never determined that or not. So Beis Shammai say, Noitles kasuba v'lo sheises. They take their ksuba, but they don't drink. So even though they're not drinking, and there's no determination yet of their status, Beis Shammai still says they take their ksuba. They can collect their ksuba. And don't forget, in this case, now we'll have to discuss something else very soon, but let's just read through. Beis Hillel say, they don't drink, nor do they take their ksuba. Now, we had before a case where a woman was an arusa, right? When she was an arusa, she had not gone through the full marriage. She was already married in the sense of erisin. She had got the ring, but they didn't go to the chuppah yet. And it was during that stage of erisin that he warned her not to go into seclusion with a man, and she did it anyway. So we learned previously that woman, there's no giving her to drink the bitter waters, the Torah says the bitter waters only go when a woman is fully married. Okay, and okay, so that means he has to divorce her. Does he pay her ksuba? What did we say before? We said before, an arusa doesn't drink, and she doesn't take her ksuba. That means if you have a sotah who doesn't drink, who cannot drink the water, the Torah doesn't allow her to drink the water. The Torah doesn't allow her to go through the process of proving her innocence. At the end of the day, she doesn't get her ksuba. She's a sotah. She brought it on herself. She brought it on herself. She didn't behave properly. That's what created this whole question, this whole situation, and therefore she doesn't get her ksuba. But here, where the husband died and she doesn't drink, Beis Shammai say she does get her ksuba. You have to differentiate what's the difference between before, by the arusa, and here. Okay, so now, so the starting point is like this. The starting point of differentiating is the fact that in the case of the arusa, was she ever at a stage that she could drink the water? The answer is no. She's only an arusa. This woman, before her husband died, could she drink? Yeah. She was a Sotah. She could drink. There was nothing holding her back. So she came to a point where she could drink, where she could drink the Sotah water. And the fact that at the end of the day she can't is not her fault. Her husband died. So in that case, Beis Shammai say she's going to get her ksuba, but in the case of the arusa, not. So we have the starting point of distinction between the arusa and this woman. The arusa was never fit to be able to drink the Sotah water, the bitter water, while here in this case the woman could have. She was eligible to drink it, and the husband died. At that point, but she's eligible to drink it, and then she can't drink it, not because of anything of her fault. So we say, all right, you take your ksuba. But there's still another problem. There's still another issue to deal with. And another issue is the following. At the end of the day, if she doesn't drink the water, then we have a question. Did she commit adultery or not? Right? A woman who commits adultery loses her ksuba. That's not a question. In this case, we don't know. Did she commit adultery? Didn't she commit adultery? She can't drink the bitter waters to determine her innocence. So she's really left in a state of suffering, in a state of question. Did she commit adultery or not? Now that the husband died, who does she want to collect her ksuba from? The heirs, right? Those who inherit him. Mm-hmm. Now, the rule is, if you got the money, if you is a person who has the money, if there's a person, so let's say it the other way. If you want to take money away from someone has money in their possession, you want to take it away from them, who does the burden of proof on? You want to take money away from your friend? You want to take money away from his possession? You, who are taking it away, have the burden of proof on you. You got to prove it. He doesn't have to. You have to prove it. In this case, can the woman prove that she's innocent? No. Is the money in the possession of the heirs? Yes. So how do Beis Shammai say she can collect the ksuba? Based on what right? They're in possession of the monies. She's trying to take it away from them. She has no, and there's a question. She has no way of clarifying that question. So she should be stuck. Why do Beis Shammai say that she has a right to collect the ksuba? And therefore, I'm going to read to you the explanation given by the Gemara here in the notes. The Gemara explains that Beis Shammai hold that if someone has a document that allows him to collect a debt or other monetary obligation, he is regarded to some extent as having already collected it. Since she is holding such a document, she has her ksuba, Beis Shammai consider her to be in possession of the ksuba money. Therefore, it is up to the husband's heirs to prove that she is not entitled to collect, which they cannot do. Meaning, because she has a document that says she has the right to collect, that makes the money in her possession. And so when in the question of this doubt, we say not that, physically speaking, so to speak, the money is in the possession of the heirs, but she has a document. And when she has a document, which is a very powerful thing, it's like she has the money already. And if you want to say she can't collect it, she loses it, you got to prove it. And they can't, because they have no way of proving it. Therefore, Beis Shammai say she should collect the money. Beis Hillel, however, reject this principle and consider her the one who must prove her case. Since she cannot do so, she does not collect her ksuba. Meaning that's why Beis Hillel say she doesn't collect her ksuba. How could she? At the end of the day, there is a doubt whether she has the rights to the money. The money is in the possession of the heirs. The fact that she has a document does not make her be considered like the money is in her possession. And therefore, the burden of proof to be able to take the money away from them is by her, and she can't prove it. And therefore, she cannot collect the ksuba. Now, one last point I bring out here. This dispute applies only where the husband died. In the cases where he actively prevented her from drinking, like he didn't let her drink, or that he cohabited with her, Beis Hillel agree that she collects her ksuba even though she cannot prove that she is innocent. Meaning, in the case where we said before that he was the cause why she can't drink. Okay? But at the end of the day, so she's not drinking. There's a doubt. She's the one trying to take away the money. The burden of proof should be on her. So the answer is in that case, not. In that case where she was ready to go through the process to prove her innocence, which then would have clarified that she has the right, and she's ready to go through it. He's the one who's stopping it. Then Beis Hillel agree she could collect her ksuba. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much.